Have you ever walked into a store for just one thing and walked out with a full basket? Or sat down at a restaurant and ended up ordering a more expensive dish than you had planned? Well, this isn't your fault because this system is so well designed that it unintentionally forces you every time to spend higher and more higher. So, let's dive into the 10 places that will always tricking you to spend higher. 1. Supermarket. The first stop on our journey is the supermarket, a place most of us visit regularly. It is perhaps the most refined and effective laboratory for consumer psychology in the world. As you grab a shopping cart and step through the automatic doors, you're not just entering a store. You're entering a carefully orchestrated system designed to maximize your spending from the moment you arrive. The first thing you likely encounter is a vibrant, colorful display of fresh fruits, vegetables, and flowers. This is not by accident. This initial sensory experience is a form of priming, designed to lift your mood and create a positive association with the store. The bright colors and fresh scents are meant to make you feel good, because research shows that happy shoppers tend to be less price sensitive and spend more money. Often, you will also be greeted by the warm, inviting smell of an in-store bakery. This aroma does more than just make you hungry. It activates your salivary glands and can trigger impulse buying for the rest of your trip. This carefully managed welcome is designed to lower your cognitive defenses before you even begin your main shopping, making you more receptive to the many other nudges you are about to encounter. The pricing of items is another layer of psychological manipulation. The common practice of pricing items at $4.99 instead of $5 is known as charm pricing, and it works because our brains tend to anchor on the first digit we read. We perceive $4.99 as being closer to $4 than to $5, even though the difference is only 1 cent. This small trick makes the price seem more appealing and can significantly influence purchasing decisions over thousands of transactions. 2. Shopping mall. From the local supermarket, we move to its larger, more complex cousin, the shopping mall. Here, the psychological principles are scaled up to create a total environment of consumption. The modern shopping mall was pioneered by an architect named Victor Gruen, who envisioned it as a kind of community center. However, his ideas were quickly adapted to create a powerful engine for retail. The core psychological phenomenon at play in a mall is something now named after him, the Gruen transfer or Gruen effect. This describes a moment you enter a mall and are intentionally overwhelmed by a confusing layout and a blast of sensory information. Surrounded by bright lights, music, and a dizzying array of storefronts, you lose track of your original mission, such as buying a specific pair of shoes. This state of scripted disorientation makes you forget your rational plan and become highly susceptible to making impulse buys as you wander aimlessly. The mall's architecture is deliberately designed to facilitate this effect. There are few long, straight corridors that would allow you to see your destination from afar. Instead, paths curve and intersect, and escalators are often placed at opposite ends of each floor, forcing you to walk past a maximum number of stores to get from one level to another. The goal is not to help you find what you're looking for efficiently, but to immerse you in the experience of the mall itself. 3. Casinos. Now we venture into an environment designed for a very specific kind of spending, the casino. Casinos are masters of creating an alternate reality where time, money, and risk are perceived differently. Historically, casino design followed a philosophy of entrapment, often called Friedman-esque design after proponent Bill Friedman. These traditional casinos were designed like mazes with low ceilings, dark and often windowless interiors, and confusing layouts that made it difficult to find the exits. The goal was to make players lose track of the outside world and the passage of time, keeping them focused solely on the games. However, a more modern and even more profitable approach has emerged, known as the playground design, pioneered by Roger Thomas of Bellagio in Las Vegas. This style rejects the dark, confining maze in favor of open, airy spaces with high ceilings, natural light where possible and luxurious, beautiful decor like sculptures, fountains, and elaborate floral displays. The theory behind the playground design is that people's attitudes mirror their environment. By creating a space that feels glamorous, comfortable, and liberating, the casino encourages gamblers to adopt a more indulgent and free-spending mindset. The data supports this. Guests in playground-style casinos tend to stay longer, gamble more, and, remarkably, leave feeling better about their experience, even when they lose money. At the heart of the casino's psychological arsenal is the slot machine itself. It is not merely a game of chance, but a finely tuned instrument of psychological engineering designed to hook the brain's reward system. 4. Movie theater. Our next destination is a movie theater, a place where the main attraction on the screen is often just a pretext for the real business happening at the concession stand. The fundamental economic model of a movie theater is often misunderstood. While they sell tickets to films, this is not their primary source of profit. A significant portion of ticket revenue, especially in the opening weeks of a blockbuster film, must be shared with the movie distributors. In some cases, the studio can take as much as 90% of the ticket sales in the first week. The theater's real money is made on concessions, where they keep 100% of the revenue. As a result, while concessions may only account for about 20% of a theater's gross revenue, they can represent up to 40% of its profits. In this model, the movie itself often functions as a loss leader, a product sold at a low price to attract customers into a captive environment where they can then be sold high-margin items like popcorn, soda, and candy. By keeping ticket prices relatively affordable, theaters can maximize foot traffic, drawing in a wide range of customers. Once inside, they can extract enormous profits from those who are less sensitive to the price of snacks. The price of movie theater popcorn is legendary, and for good reason. The profit margins are astronomical. A large bucket of popcorn that costs the theater as little as 40 cents in kernels, oil, and salt can easily be sold for $5, $8, or even more. This represents a markup that can exceed 1,275%, with an average profit margin of over 80%. So why do people willingly pay these prices? The answer lies in psychology and ritual. Over decades, the act of buying popcorn and a soda has become deeply intertwined with the movie-going experience itself. For many, the event feels incomplete without it. 5. Car dealership. Every time you step onto a car dealership lot, you are entering a high-stakes negotiation where the salesperson has a significant home field advantage. They are trained negotiators who handle hundreds of deals a year, while the average person buys a car only a few times a decade. Dealerships employ a range of psychological tactics designed to control the conversation, create confusion, and pressure you into a deal that favors them. One of the most common and effective tactics is to immediately shift the focus in negotiation away from the total price of the car and onto the monthly payment. The salesperson will often ask, "What kind of monthly payment are you looking for?" This question seems helpful, but it is a trap. By getting you to think in terms of manageable monthly figure, they can obscure the overall cost of the vehicle. A lower monthly payment can be achieved by extending the loan term, increasing the down payment, or offering a lower value for your trade-in, all while keeping the actual sale price of the car high. This focus on one small, manageable number makes it much harder for you to see the big picture and know if you're truly getting a good deal. To further engineer confusion, many dealerships use a worksheet known as a Foursquare. This grid divides a deal into 4 components: the price of the new car, the value of your trade-in, the down payment, and the monthly payment. Time is another weapon that dealerships wield with expertise. Finally, dealerships are masters of emotional leverage. They encourage you to test drive a car and spend time in it, which triggers a psychological principle known as the endowment effect. Once you feel a sense of ownership over something, you begin to value it more highly, making it harder to walk away from. 6. Restaurant. When you sit down at a restaurant, the menu you are handed is much more than just a list of dishes and prices. It is a carefully crafted piece of marketing, a tool of menu engineering designed to guide your eyes, stimulate your appetite, and influence your choices in ways that maximize the restaurant's profit. Menu engineering is a scientific process that involves analyzing every item on the menu based on 2 key metrics: its popularity, how often it sells, and its profitability, its contribution margin, which is the sale price minus the food cost. This analysis sorts every dish into one of 4 categories: stars, high popularity, high profitability; plow horses, high popularity, low profitability; puzzles, low popularity, high profitability; and dogs, low popularity, low profitability. The design of the menu is then optimized to sell more stars and puzzles, improve the profitability of plow horses, and either fix or remove the dogs. 7. Theme parks. Next, we visit the world of theme parks, where the business of selling fun has been refined into a science of monetizing magic and managing massive crowds. A theme park's revenue comes from two main sources: admission tickets and in-park, or secondary, spending on things like food, merchandise, games, and line-skipping services. In recent years, this secondary spending has become increasingly important and profitable. Per capita spending at major parks has seen substantial increases. For example, Disney reported a 40% increase in per capita spending compared to pre-pandemic levels, while Six Flags saw an increase of over 50%. This surge is driven by a demographic shift towards millennials and Gen Z, who prioritize experiences over possessions and are more willing to pay extra for convenience and unique moments. The physical layout of a theme park is a masterclass in crowd control and guided movement, designed to expose guests to as many spending opportunities as possible. Parks are often designed with a loop or hub-and-spoke model. A central hub, like Cinderella's castle at the Magic Kingdom, acts as a visual landmark that draws people into the center of the park and away from the entrance, preventing congestion. 8. Airports. From the manufacture fun of a theme park, we travel to a place of transition and stress: the airport. Airports have evolved from simple transportation hubs into complex retail ecosystems, and they are designed to capitalize on the unique psychological state of the traveler. The period between clearing security and boarding your flight is known to airport retailers as a golden hour, a prime window for spending that airports work hard to maximize. The journey begins right after the security checkpoint, which is often a stressful experience. Once you are through, you enter what aviation consultants call the recomposure zone. Here, you feel a sense of relief and relaxation, and your brain is cued that it is time to shift from a mindset of stress to one of leisure. It is in this exact zone that you are immediately funneled into a large, winding duty-free shop. In many modern airports, you have no choice but to walk through this retail environment to get to your gate, ensuring maximum product exposure. The design of the airport terminal is carefully planned to encourage this leisurely spending. To alleviate the time anxiety that might make you rush to your gate, airports provide plentiful and easy-to-read flight information screens, many of which now display the estimated walking time to each gate. By telling you that you have 45 minutes to spare and your gate is only a 7-minute walk away, the airport gives you a sense of control and permission to relax, browse, and shop. 9. E-commerce. Our journey now moves from the physical world to the digital one, the online store. E-commerce websites and apps are perhaps the most sophisticated environments of all, as they can track, test, and personalize their persuasive tactics with a level of precision that physical stores can only dream of. Online retailers use a vast arsenal of psychological triggers to encourage you to click buy now. One of the most powerful is a weaponization of urgency and scarcity, often referred to as FOMO, or the fear of missing out. You have likely seen these tactics in action. Countdown timers ticking down on a limited time offer, notifications that say only 2 items left in stock, or banners that announce a flash sale is ending soon. These techniques create a sense of pressure that bypasses our rational decision-making process. The fear of losing out on a deal or a desired product is a stronger motivator for our brains than the prospect of a future gain. Research has shown that perceived scarcity can boost a product attractiveness, and tactics that create urgency can significantly increase conversion rates by reducing the time we have to second-guess a purchase. 10. Hotels. Our final destination is the hotel, an environment that has perfected the subtle art of the upsell. From the moment you book your room to the moment you check out, hotels employ a multi-stage strategy to encourage you to spend more on an enhanced experience. Unlike the high-pressure tactics of a car dealership, hotel upselling is often about making you feel like you're the one making a smart choice to upgrade your stay. The process often begins before you even arrive, with a pre-stay email offering you the chance to upgrade your room for a small additional fee, add a breakfast package, or book a spa treatment. This initial offer plants a seed and gets you thinking about the possibilities. These are the 10 places that are always tricking you to spend higher psychologically. And if you found this video helpful, then do share it with your friends too to save them from this trap. And hit that big subscribe button and watch the video pop up on your screen.